Okay, so we're going to look at 7.11, and I actually had this recorded once, but it turns out it broke. So some of it didn't work. So some of this is going to be filled in, but don't worry about it. So 7.11 is going to work on orders of operations. And the way I like to describe it is pretend, again, like yesterday, we're like a doctor, and the problem is our patient, and we got to operate on them. But we have to know what to do first, why, and how. Okay, we have to know. If we do things wrong, then we can't solve the problem. So this is going to talk about doing different types of things in problems and learning how to solve it. You know, what to do first, what to do next, what to do last. We have to do it the same way, because if we don't do it the same way, we won't get the same answer. So it says, use what you know about acting out a two-step problem to write one equation to describe and solve a two-step problem. So we've been doing two-step problems. Last lesson was a two-step problem. We had to do two things, and then we solved it. But we really didn't know what to do first. We kind of had to take a guess. But now we're going to learn what we have to do first. So if we solve the two-step problem in a different order, what do you think might happen? So if we're doing it all in different orders, we can't solve the problem. If you're solving doing one way, and then another one the same problem a different way, you're not going to get the same answer, and one answer will be wrong. So we have to learn how to do things at the same time. So if we solve a two-step problem in different orders, we won't solve the problem. That's what I'd wrote. So we have a problem. We have 4 plus 16 divided by 2. Well, I have two operations in here. I'm adding and I'm dividing. Well, goodness. Let's see how to do this. It says make a list of all the possible orders you can use to find. Well, really, we can go 4 plus 16, right? And then divide 2. Or we could do 16 divided by 2 and then add the 4. What one? We got to think, what one are we going to figure is right? So let me erase this over here. We've not really done problems like this before, and it's okay that if you haven't. But it says use each order in your list to find the answer and show the steps. So let's do the first one. We did 4 plus 16, which equals 20, and then we have to divide it by 2, right? And 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So that's our final answer, 10. We've solved this whole entire equation. Well, let's try it the other way. We did 16 divided by 2 and then add 4. So 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And then 8 plus 4 equals 12. We have the same numbers in each problem, but they equal different things. Why is that? You got to think, what? I have the same numbers and I'm doing kind of the same things, but they equal different. So we got to think, why is that? Well, did the following orders change the answer? Yes. One is 10, one is 12. It says, if a problem has more than one type of operation, how does the order in which you perform the operations affect the answer? So all it's going to do, guys, if we change the order up, we use this. All it's going to do if we change the order, guys, it's going to change the answer. Okay. And what if we do one in one order, it's going to change from what we do from the other. So all it says is it will change the answer. So question 3 says, explain, and please pause throughout the video if you're running behind, pause and rewatch. Explain the need for setting an order of operation that everyone follows. So we have to do the things the same to get the same answer. If I have one student doing one way and the other student doing another way, we're not going to get the same answer. They're going to be different answers, and no one's going to know the correct answer. So we put an order of operations in, an order in which you do things. The way I've kind of described it is, you can't read a book starting in the last chapter because you'll never understand the story. So just how you read a book from top to bottom, front to back, we have to do math kind of the same way, all in the same order. And we're going to learn this order. It's very, very easy. So if you got that down, if you need to pause it now. when solving problems with more than one type of operation, what's our operations we know are plus, divide, times, and minus. You need to know which order to do first. There's a special set of rules called the order of operations, which gives the order in which the calculations are done in a problem. Okay? First, you multiply and divide left to right. So the first thing you always have to do is multiply or divide, whatever one comes first, left to right. Then we have to add and subtract left to right. If subtraction comes first, you subtract first. If adding comes first from left to right, then you add first. So in this problem up here, we had 4 plus 16 divided by 2. Well, first off, we have to multiply and divide from left to right. So we have to divide first. So 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And then 4 plus 8 equals 12. So 12 is actually the right answer. So think about this. Megan buys 2 books for $4 each. She pays with a $10 bill. How much does she have left? Well, we know she has $10, right? And she buys, so 10 minus, because that's what she's using, two books that cost $4 each to describe what she has left, C. Okay, 10 minus 2 times 4. Well, we know we have to multiply or divide first. I see multiplication, so we have to multiply first. So we don't do 10 minus 2, we actually do 2 times 4. So 2 times 4 actually equals 8. Now we can do our problem, which is 10 minus 8, and 10 minus 8 is $2. Okay, subtract from left to right. 10 minus 8 is $2. Does this make sense? Explain. It might make sense. It might not. Does this make sense? Explain. Probably not yet, but it will. So does this make sense? I would say, let's all say here, we are still learning. Let's say yes, comma, but we are still learning. It'll make sense as we do more and more, okay? Yes, but we are still learning. So the next says, write correct if their operations are listed in the correct order. If it's not correct, write the correct order. So this one says 4 plus 5 times 2. It says we have to multiply first and then add second. Is that correct? Yes, because first we have to multiply, then we have to add or subtract. Multiply and divide, or then add and subtract. So is that right? Correct. That's right for that problem. This one says I have to multiply first, then divide second. Well, if we look, multiply and divide is the same level, so we have to go left from right. So really, we have to divide first, then multiply second. Divide, then multiply. This one says down here, we have to add. Hold on one second.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
So it's 12 plus 16 divided by 4. They want us to add first, but we know we can't add first because we have to divide first. And then we have to add. That's just like our problem at the top. This one said add first and multiply next. That's not right because we multiply and divide first. So we're going to multiply. Then add. This one says 4 plus 6 divided by 3. They want us to divide first, then add. That's correct. Last one is 36 minus 7 times 3. They want us to multiply first and subtract second. That is correct. That is correct. So if you need to pause it here to copy this down because I'm going to continue. The next one, let me pull this up real quick. PEMDAS. It's called PEMDAS. This is kind of how you remember it. And we're really working with down here. Multiply, divide goes first, then add and subtract goes second. Whichever one comes first. But if we see adding before multiply, we still got to multiply first. But if we see dividing before multiply, we have to divide first. Same vice versa, okay? We can switch these around, but no matter what, you have to do these two before you can do these two. So use your math board to find the following unknown. We have to do 63 divided by 9 minus 2. We know we have to divide first, and we know 63 divided by 9 is 7. So now 7 minus 2 is simple, 5. 7 minus 5 plus 8. Well, we have no adding and subtraction, no multiplication or division. So guess what? We just have to go straight across. So 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. Now we have multiplication and subtraction. We know we have to multiply first, and it even shows it's first. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 2 is 16. Right here, 80 minus 64 divided by 8. We know we can't subtract first. We have to divide first. And we know 64 divided by 8 is 8. And then 80 minus 8 is going to be 72. 3 times 4 plus 6 equals A. We're going to have to do a multiplication first. We know 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 plus 6 is 18. Last, we have multiplication and division. So we have to do them first, but now it's just whatever one comes first. So multiplication comes first, so we're going to do multiplication first. Because remember, these two are in the same level, okay? Whatever one comes first here goes first. But they always go before this, and this never goes before this. So 2 times 7 is 14. Well, 14 divided by 7 is also 2. Make sure you guys get that down. So we have to use algebra to make this true. Well, we have 2, 6, and 5. So if I do 2, 6, and 5, I know I have to multiply first. So 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 plus 2 makes 32. Is that right? No. So let's switch some around. Let me switch my 2 and my 5. I know 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. We're still not right. So let me switch my 5 and my 6. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 plus 10 is 16. There's our answer. Ooh, this next one looks tough. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out. We're going to do 12 here and 18 here and 4 here. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 18 minus 3 is 15. Next one. We have multiplication, because that's first, then subtraction second. So we have to make 47. So I already know that 8 times 7 is 56. And 56 minus 9 is going to be 49. Now this one we got to divide first. So there's only 2 numbers here we can divide, because 2 can't divide by 9 and you can't divide 4 by 9. So we're going to divide 4. Remember, the biggest number always goes first when dividing, like we did here. We can't put 4 here and do 4 divided by 12. It's 12 divided by 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 plus 9 make 11. we're going to skip 17. Just because you guys don't have enough room, and I probably don't have enough room to write that. We'll skip it. We'll talk about it in class. Make sure you get this copied down. Is 4 plus 8 times 3 equal to 4 plus 3 times 8? Explain. How do you know without even finding the answers? Well, we do know because we got to multiply first, and we know this. They will equal the same. Because we know 8 times 3 is the same as 3 times 8. That's commutative property. That is commutative property. The other add-in plus 4 will not change. The next one. For 19A through D, select true or false. Well, let's solve it. 12 divided by 4 is 8. 8, I'm right underneath. 8 plus 5 equals 13. True. We got to multiply first. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. That's false. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 minus 1 is 14. That is true. And 3 times 2, oh, we have to do division first. 8 divided by 3 is 6. And 6 times 2 is 12. That is true. True, false, true, true. We're going to use this table now to solve. And then we're going to work on our practice homework. So the Eric Carle Museum of Picture Books of Art in Amherst, Massachusetts is the first museum in the United States that is devoted to picture book art. Picture book arts introduce literature to young readers. So guys, your picture books, it's supposed to get you into reading. The museum has 3 galleries, a reading library, a cafe, an art studio, an auditorium, and a museum shop. The exhibits change every 3 to 6 months depending on the length of time the picture art is on loan and how fragile it is. The table shows the prices for some souvenirs in the bookstore, in the bookstore in the museum. So, look at all these. A Firefly picture frame's $25, exhibit posters $10, etc., etc. Okay, the cheapest thing is Sun notepads. It says Cologne bought 3 Caterpillar note cards and 1 Caterpillar pen. How much did he spend? Well, we know note cards are $8, so he bought 3 times 8, and he bought 1 Caterpillar pen, which is $4. So it's plus 4. And we know we got to do multiplication first. We know 3 times 8 is 24, equals 24 plus 4, which equals $28. Okay, 28. It says Raya and 4 friends. So this is 5 people. Raya and 4 friends bought their teacher 1 Firefly picture frame. They shared the cost equally. Then Raya bought an expedition poster. How much money did Raya spend? So we have 5 people that bought a Firefly picture frame, which is $25. So we have to divide because they split it equally. So $25, and they split it equally between 5 people. So each person spent 25 divided by 5 is $5 on it. So Raya even spent $5. But she then went around and bought an expedition poster. So an expedition poster cost $10. So she spent $5 on the Firefly picture frame and also $10 on the expedition poster. So 5 plus 10 is gonna make $15. That's how much she spent in all. Don't stress too hard if you're having a hard time. We're gonna really work on this, okay? I know this can be tough. Up here, remember this. If you see adding before multiply, we know we have to multiply or divide before we add and subtract, okay? It's called PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's how I remember it, and I'll teach it more in class. Your practice homework will be on. Give a description of the rules in your own words. Well, it's simple, guys. Multiply or divide first. Then add or subtract. And remember, it's whatever ones comes first. So we multiply or divide first, then add or subtract. Okay? All right. This is a tough lesson, guys, so don't stress too hard if you're having a really hard time with it. I know, I understand completely. Make sure you guys get this down. This is a very important lesson. Make sure if you need to go back and pause, go back and do it. It should be on YouTube, okay? Other than that, you guys have a good one.